Someone once said, "Everything I need to know I learned in preschool." Your child's early years are the most important and most influential. This is why the Ministry of Education, Training and Employment has established the Early Childhood Taskforce to help refocus educators and the community's efforts on the value of early childhood education.
Early childhood education is the foundation for every single student. And so as minister, I took the decision that the first major initiative that we had to tackle for this school year was indeed the issue of early childhood education. And so we've put together a task force that includes professionals and even some parents to look at the entire breadth of early childhood education so that we could come up with what is going to be our national early childhood education policy. That's the bedrock upon which our reforms will be built.
As chair of the task force, my role was to structure the energy of the group and to look at the current education modernization law. This is a law that was passed in the legislature in 2009 but had never been enacted in reality in the schools and in the community. And a lot of people weren't even familiar with it. So our first step was to look at this law and to see what it presented in terms of regulations, policy, and guidance for early childhood education.
When we talk about early childhood, we're also talking about, and we speak for, children birth to age 8. Of course, the focus for early years task force has basically been for child care for the preschool age group. And we have found that it was critical that we had voices from the association on the task force, mainly because we have already worked on legislation in 2006 specific for early childhood years. And we wanted to bring that point to the early years task force that we thought it should be reviewed, and also the draft regulations to go with it, so that it would enhance the modernization law for early childhood.
The wonderful thing about the committee is there are multiple preschool owners that are present on the committee, as well as education officials, as well as another parent, myself. Continually during the opening of the meetings, we discuss things that are happening in the schools, information that can help teachers and assist teachers and preschool providers to better their schools and better the education abilities of the teachers to better the schools for the children.
It's more than babysitting. It is an area where we stimulate the young minds of children and help them to realize their potential to succeed in school and in their social behavior, in their civic pride. You know, we have an awesome responsibility to also do things culturally correct, because we are in the Cayman Islands and many times our culture goes bypassed.
At that age is when you should be detecting and catching any developmental issues with our students. If we're not catching them then, high school is simply too late. And so we need to address the broad spectrum of issues for students at the very earliest opportunity. And so this task force is charged with the awesome responsibility of coming back with strategic advice to me as minister about the way forward. And so we will be rolling out to the country our early childhood education strategic policy.
The Early Childhood Task Force aims to develop knowledge, change attitudes, and increase skills for our youngest citizens. Rest assured, new initiatives designed to improve early education options for your child will soon be at arm's reach.